Hello there. Welcome to Mary Davidson Ministries, Wow Ministries, and Wow Enterprise. And let's not forget my company, Why Not You Publishing Company. I want to talk about a very difficult subject today. It's something that has been plaguing our country for as long as America has been around, really, almost. Yeah, really. So, in saying this, come on in, sit down, let's chat, let's go, let's learn, let's chat, and let's act. So, here we go. As previously said, racism is something that has been plaguing our country for years. It's a difficult topic because of slavery and because of what has been done to the Native American Indians. But it is a conversation that we must have. We've had various talks about it in the past, just a little. I shouldn't say various, maybe I should say just a little. But I want to talk about it today because I think it's something that until we deal with this, our nation cannot heal, will not heal. The scripture is clear. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face, I will heal their land. Okay? So I believe that healing will take place when we acknowledge as a nation, as a people, that we have sinned. Number one. Number two, I also want to talk to my Caucasian brothers and sisters. You who are living today say, I have nothing to do with what happened, 200 years ago, which was slavery. But my charge to you today is, you're right. You have nothing to do with it. I do know that Martin Luther King, when during the whole Martin Luther King movement, shall I say, there were many white people and probably other nationalities that lost their lives along with Black Americans or African Americans and Martin Luther King Jr., Sr., of course. So Martin Luther King, let's put it like that. So because of the fact that there were some people from other ethnicities who did not believe in the law of the land at that time. Slavery was something that was the law of the land, but there were various soldiers, if you will, who stood against that law. And what people need to understand is just because something is the law, it doesn't mean that it's right. There was a time when slavery was the law, but it doesn't mean it was right. We now realize that it was wrong. It is one of the most violent acts towards humanity that a person can ever commit. So in saying this is why I say it is important that we have this discussion. Now, again, to my Caucasian sisters and brothers, this is not a subject matter that we can shy away from. It's something that you must come to the table. Now, what can you do that can help our nation heal, especially if you are a believer? You say you love Christ, you believe in God. So most importantly, you must demonstrate this. How do you demonstrate this? Okay, for example, when you know that something, a joke, is derogatory towards another nation of people, you have to speak up. You can't laugh along or either walk away or act like you didn't hear it. You have to begin to speak up. Now, that's not just for Caucasian sisters and brothers. That is for our people as well. When we hear these condescending jokes about each other, we need to speak up. Our voices need to be heard, okay? That's number one. Number two, someone said that racism, a black person cannot be a racist. Really? I personally am not in agreement with that. I believe that you can be a racist regardless of what color you are. You can be a racist towards Asians or Koreans or Black Americans or white Americans. A racist is a racist. That's a person who believes because of the color of your skin that this race or that race is better than another race, which is certainly not true. I will never be able to wrap my mind around the concept of not liking someone because your skin is Black or white or Puerto Rican or Mexican or you're from Russia or China, whatever your ethnicity is. I don't believe that you are inferior to me because you're not Black, or you're inferior to me because you're not white, or you're superior to me because you're white or Chinese or Hispanic or whatever your race is. None of us are inferior or superior to each other. This is what I have learned. I have learned this, that God is the creator, and he created all of us, each and every one of us, in his image. So in saying this, when he created us, he wanted us to express the image of who he was, which is diversity and creativity. So in some cultures, those people sing better or sing, as we would say, better than maybe someone else. Some people are linear learners. Some people are visual learners. Some people are scholastic learners. I mean, whatever you are, you were created in the image of God. It is really stupid for us to walk around and act like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm this color or that color. Really? It is dumb to the hill, okay? Because we are all created in the image of God, really. And for you to think you're better or to think you're lesser because you have a certain skin color, that is a mockery before God. Because what you're saying is, Lord, you were incompetent when you made me, which we know is not true. Because the scripture clearly says in Genesis that he made us in his likeness and his image. So, in saying this, how dare you think any less of yourself? How dare you think more highly of yourself, when the Bible is clear that we were all made in the similitude, the likeness of our Father, who is God the Father of the universe, okay? This means that we are all man, woman, boy, or girl, created equal. I'll let that set in for a second. That's right. We are all created equal. Now, let's get back to our diversity, our differences. Okay. So in some cultures, we're more expressive than others. Okay. And in some cultures, we are more artistic than others. In some cultures, we are more we're more linear than others. Some cultures, we're more visual than others. In some cultures, we are more analytical than others. Some of us are more, we become doctors more than some other cultures. But the bottom line is this right here. If you are a doctor and someone else is a garbage person, a person who collects garbage, puts away our trash. Okay. This is how I see it. Okay. A lawyer and a doctor is equally important as a garbage collector and a teacher. Let's put it like that. We'll put these two together. Okay. Where would the world be without teachers? Where would the world be without the garbage collector? I want to focus in on the garbage collector and the housekeeper and the person who takes care of maybe your babies or your children or our little ones. Where would we be if those people were not, if that skill set was not in the land of the living today? First of all, none of us will probably go outside because if you got rid of all the trash collectors, it will be a stink in the earth. So those people are important to our land. So the next time you go outside and you see a garbage collector, how about speaking to him or her? How about giving them a smile and tell them thank you for collecting your trash? Because you know what? If they don't come and collect your trash, you will be fussing, arguing, or complaining about the fact that there's trash that has not been picked up for 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks, right? We have already been through that. Remember the time when it snowed back to back to back, about 3-4 years ago, and they could not pick up our trash for 2 or 3 weeks, and we just had to let it stay there? It was a stink in the earth. So when the next time you see a trash collector and you walk past them like they are beneath you because you are a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a manager or a pastor or a deacon or a minister, you need to remember that if they don't pick up your trash, you will not like it one bit. So how about speaking to them the next time you leave your house and you come into their presence? Leave them more better than the way you found it, okay? Now, let's deal with the housekeeper and those who take care of our babies and the teachers. Listen, as throughout the years, I have always taught, been a mentor and a coach. But over the years, I have that particular area has become my specialization. So many of you know I teach online. I've been teaching online. When my daughter got sick, I started teaching online so I could stay at home with her and care for her at that time. Subsequently, since then, I continued in that profession part-time because I love teaching online. And it's different. It's a different type of brand than when you're teaching in the classroom. Although prior to teaching online, I have been teaching in various classrooms and classroom settings and groups for, I don't know, maybe like 25 years or so. So now it's a little over 30, maybe even 35 years I've been around teaching. And I've learned how to brand myself online as well as in the classroom. So in saying this, I'm here to tell you that teachers are unappreciated and underpaid. So maybe with this COVID-19 whole ordeal now, parents are starting to realize that they should never go to school and curse or belittle their teachers. They're having to experience what their teachers have been experiencing for years with their children. So to me, God has a way. Am I saying that God created the coronavirus? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is he surely could have stopped it if he wanted to. But he decided he was not going to stop it, and he allowed it to happen. And we have learned to appreciate our doctors. We've learned to appreciate the first responders. We've learned to appreciate the guy in the emergency room or the woman in the emergency room. We've learned to appreciate our dentists and our doctors and our nurses. We've learned to appreciate them and thank God for them, because without them, where would we be? Okay, so here we go. So I'm saying all this to just say, Whether when you're ill, when you're sick, when you need a tooth pulled, or you need a surgery on your brain, or surgery on your heart, or you need an organ transplant, or you need dialysis. At that point, when there's an ache in our body, we don't care what color the person is. Majority of the time, 99.99% of the time, we don't care what color this individual is, because right now we just want to be alleviated from our dis-ease. Now, why can't we be that way in all things? Okay, like I said before, I will never be able to wrap my mind around why some people feel that they are superior to another person because they are another skin color, Black perhaps, or Puerto Rican, or Mexican, or Indians, or Native Americans. Okay, it's something that has been embedded in us, okay, from our childhood and for generations, that we're not willing to let go of, because it makes us feel superior, okay? But I'm here to set the record straight. No one is inferior to me, okay? No one is superior to me. Same with you, likewise. No one is inferior to you, and no one is superior to you. We are all created in the image of God and in His likeness. Do we have skills that are different? Yes. Do we have abilities that differ? Yes. Do we have ways of thinking that are different? Yes. Do we have how we learn, how we dialogue, how we interact with each other? Is it different culturally? Yes. Black people have their own way of communicating. Caucasians have their own way of communicating. African Americans have their own way. Puerto Ricans have their own way. We all have our own way. Even those in the Middle East have their way of communicating. But what it boils down to is this right here. When I started teaching online, I realized I had one of the most enormous culture shocks in my life. I realized that people around the world want the same things that we want. And you know what that is? Peace. A safe place for their kids to go to school, education, scholarships, food on the table, clothes on their back, shoes on their feet. They want to be loved. They want to be understood. They want to have friends. And when I saw this, I said to myself, oh my goodness, this is amazing. They want the same things that we want. So let's quit fighting with each other because of all of the nonsense, because of the color of our skin, the color of our eyes, whether we have long hair or short hair, whether my hair is woolly or straight, whether we have long nails or short nails, whether we are short or tall or fat or skinny. Why do we fight over these foolish things? They're not important. They're only the main things because we have made them the main things. They're not important. They're non-essential. So let's stop it. Get ourselves together and let's walk in the land of the living, shoulder to shoulder, holding each other accountable, loving each other, and educating and learning from one another. Like I said before, this is Mary Davidson. And in my room, this room right here, you have learned that the only thing I want to talk about in here is how we can live together as a people, how we can love each other, how can we forgive each other for the things that we have done wrong. To every police officer, thank you. But to those who feel the need to assassinate someone and then go home and sleep at night, I do not applaud you. I feel sorry for you. To every young man, Black man, boy, my heart goes out to you, but you need to take a responsibility too. Understand this, that you have to obey the law of the land, okay? Unless the law of land is telling you to do something wrong, that's different, okay? You have to respect authority. But let me say this, those who are in authority, you need to understand that you're in a powerful position that God will truly hold you accountable for. If nobody down here holds you accountable for, you will have a day with God where he will hold you accountable. And you need to understand the same respect that you want people to give you in your position. How about you showing that same respect to those who are beneath you? And I don't mean lower than you, I mean your subordinates. This is a two-way stream. It's not about you in authority getting or having the opportunity or seizing the moment to throw your weight around. You need to apologize to the people that you have belittled. So, like, for example, when you stop a person on the road because of speeding or whatever, yes, you should protect yourself. Yes, you should be on guard because you never know what somebody has in their car or what they're going to do. But when you approach the car, you should respect the individual. I thank God that I have had most of the police officers have respected me when they stop me. But I showed them respect, and I want the same respect back. Not because I'm a woman, but because I am a human being. And that's what we need to keep in mind, that we are to respect each other, that we're human, that we're living in this place together. And you know what? If we don't learn to love each other in spite of our skin color, in spite of our ethnicity, in spite of all these other things that are just not essential, not important, non-significant things, if we don't learn that these things are not important, especially the color of our skin, really, that is so dumb. To not like somebody because they're white or Black or Puerto Rican or Mexican or African or Jamaican is stupid. So why do we do these things? It just shows how we are so flawed and we're not willing to deal with our character. And it shines through in our daily decision to not like a person because of the color of their skin. It doesn't matter whether you're Black or white. You're not smarter than the next person. You just believe you are because your skin is this or your skin is that. But it's not true. You have bought into the lie. The lie is that you are either superior or inferior. They're both lies. They're both lies. And understand this. I, Mary Davidson, am not superior to anyone else, nor am I inferior. I am who I am by the grace of God. So in saying that, let's learn to live together. Let's walk this land shoulder to shoulder, praying for one another, helping one another, and forgiving each other. Because guess what, y'all? We are all we have. And one person said, we're all we got. So I'll end on that note. Let's go. Let's learn from one another. Let's chat. And now that we've chatted, let's go out. See you next time, my friend. Bye-bye.